Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Toasted Synapse from tsgaming.net, and today I will be bringing you something different. Something that a lot of people ask me is a tutorial on how I record for YouTube, how I record gaming videos for YouTube. Now, rather than, responding to each and every person that asks me this individually, I can refer them to this video, and also you guys can hopefully be helped by this video. So the programs that I use is Dxtory for recording, then Vegas Pro version 10. Now you can use version 12, whatever works for you. I use 10. I don't use this for editing or rendering the final product. I will show you in a second what I use it for. And then Cool Edit Pro for my audio, to make it more enjoyable, more accurate, and to not have it spike really high. And then Adobe Premiere Pro. This is CS5. You can use 5.5, 6. Again, it's your decision. So I use Dxtory, which is a program similar to Fraps, although I do believe it's better than Fraps. This is what I tried to do. Yeah, there we go. What I tried to do before this. I'm using Camtasia Studio for recording this tutorial, but Camtasia Studio only works for applications and things that are in Windows. If you're gonna play a game that's gonna go into a DirectX or OpenGL or something like that, and you won't be able to capture it if it's full screened. You won't be able to capture it with Camtasia, which is mainly built for tutorials like this one. So Dxtory, why do I use it, and why is it better than Fraps? I'm gonna go through the tabs really quickly. Target, this is basically it targets your game. If you're gonna open up a game, it's gonna appear here and it's gonna get targeted, which means that when you alt tab into the game, you're gonna get an overlay. From here you can manage the position of the overlay, where you want it to be, and the colors of it. When you're gonna start recording, this is gonna turn into orange, and yeah, you can basically check here and uncheck these boxes so you can see what's happening. The next tab over here is where it saves your AVI files, your files in general. This button right here is a benchmark. After you set your location, you can click this button to do a benchmark on your computer and try to figure out the writing speed that it can handle, and then have it over here, so you would know what to use when writing your AVI files. So yeah, choose a location, press benchmark, and see what it tells you. You can have multiple locations, and then check this box here if you wanted to save to that location, or you can switch them around later. Then again, the next tab is for hotkeys. I used the pause button, but some games use the pause button for something else, so I switched to Shift Insert because it's not being used, and then Shift End to toggle the position. So you don't have to Alt Tab and change this position, which is great, because some games you get into them and all of a sudden they have something that pops up in the top left here, and you can't see what's written there. The viewers can see it because this overlay doesn't appear for the final product, but you can see it, and you don't want to cut the video there, go back. You just press, in my case, Shift End, and it moves the overlay to the next position. Alright. Obviously, screenshots and other stuff like that, push to talk, whatever, you can activate here, but I only have these two because this is what I use. This tab is, I'm gonna go more in depth to it. What I'm gonna start with is say that whatever is above these settings over here, some of the settings over here, YouTube will ultimately convert the video that you upload back to these settings. So there's no point in having, for example, an RGB clean cut recording and saving it as a clean cut recording, because the codec that YouTube uses is YUV 420. And just for a fact, yeah, these codecs, the 4 codecs right here, are not do not come default with Dxtory. You have to download them. They're free. I recommend that you do. It's called UT Video Codec. Just Google it and you will find it. Another thing that Dxtory does and Fraps does not do is let you choose what codec you want, because the files that you're going to get out of this program are huge. I have an example here with which we are going to work. So you can calculate 5 minutes is almost 9 gigabytes, and 23 minutes it's almost 40 gigabytes. So you can kind of, you know, understand 1 hour is going to be 100 gigabytes, and yeah, that's maybe a lot for some people. Luckily, you can change your codecs over here, and if you really want to put something out there on YouTube, you may want to choose a codec that makes your files smaller. Yes, the quality will be not so good, but at least you can do it with this program. And with Fraps, you only have the Fraps codec, that again is a codec that compresses. Fraps does not get you RGB full, let's say, screenshot quality recording. Another codec that you might want to get, Google and get it, is Logarith lossless codec. Now, after you choose one of these, you can click show configuration, and you can choose your configuration from here if you want the RGB, or if you want these ones, whatever. I'm gonna stick with this one and have the configurations on default. This is the default ones over here, not messing with anything. Again, you can on some codecs you can change the keyframe rate, the quality, and the data rate. If you want videos that are not so big in file size, but you still want videos, then you can pick another codec and tweak around with quality and stuff over here. But this is what I use because this is what YouTube uses, and it's working fine. Again, frame rate, YouTube caps it at 30, so why have it higher? I have it at 30 here. Over here you have file output and direct show output. You can have them both on, or only one of them on. File output is outputs to a file. It's what you would expect. It creates one AVI file somewhere on your hard drive, which you can that you can access later. Direct show output outputs to a capturing device. XSplit, for example, can take advantage of this. You can basically stream your games with Dxtory and XSplit. If you open XSplit, on the bottom left you have the option to add a camera, and you're gonna say add a device, and you're gonna say add Dxtory, and whatever Dxtory sees, it will output to XSplit, and in turn XSplit will output to Twitch or whatever. So this is direct show if you also want to stream live, and if you have both of them, you're gonna stream and also have a file. Okay, file format AVI. Most people go for this. You can also go for raw cap. A raw cap is how can I explain this? AVI is a video and audio file that has frames. So it has frame 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it's in the same place. All the frames are in the same place in order. Now raw cap will put frame 1 in one place, frame 2 in the second place, frame 3 in the, in the normal place. Then if you have two hard drives, basically hard drive 1 and hard drive 2, and or SSDs, and you don't have much space on them, you can basically cut your video so it can go the first frame on the left the second frame on the right, the third frame on the left, the fourth frame on the right, etc. And in the end, you have this button over here, that raw cap conversion, that it makes an AVI file taking all the frames together. Some people may use this, I don't know. If your writing speed isn't that great, you may want to use this. Get 2 hard drives with 2 different writing speeds, so have 1 frame write to that one and 1 frame write to the second one, etc. This is what RawCap does, and yeah, it works pretty well. And then you can merge it with this converter over here. Clipping, obviously what it does, I don't see the use of it if you're also going to use a you know, a video editing software, because you can do your clipping there. Also margins you can do from here, which I don't find any use, because you can use it from you can do it from a video editing standpoint. Include mouse cursor, pretty much what it says. Synchronize video FPS, a option that Fraps also has, called, I think, something with frames, lock frames with something, I don't know. Basically, if your game runs in 200 FPS and you're recording in 30 FPS, it will tell the game to be locked at 30, so it won't go above 30. I don't have this on. This may help some people that have some problems in their games. So yeah, I'll just let my game run at 200 FPS if it wants, and the program will know what to capture and when to capture to have 30 FPS in the end. So yeah, only if you have problems you can tick this box. Also, something that I've heard, people that had problems with Fraps, you know, it gave them lag and stuff like that. The people that switched to Dxtory saw that on the same game they did not have that program, so maybe it requires less computing power, is better optimized, I don't know what to say, but it, you know, you may be interested if you're using Fraps and you're not liking that it lags your game. You can switch to Dxtory if you really want. Another thing that this does and Fraps does not do, say you want your final video to be in 720p, or again you don't have enough hard drive space to record in 1080p, but you do want to get the same experience. You don't want to tweak your desktop resolution or your in-game resolution or whatever to 720p. So it looks shittier on your monitor. You want the full experience, but you want the output file to be in 720p, fine. You can record in 1080p and then scale it to the size you want in percentages, or directly, you know, in 720p, whatever you want over here, and have it output the file as a 720p file, which is great. Some people may find this very useful. The next tab, again, something that Dxtory does and Fraps does not do, which is a problem for many people, is that when they record a game and, you know, in the end they find out that the game audio suddenly goes, you know, obviously people do tests, but maybe the audio suddenly gets really high in the game, and there's an entire, let's say, 5-minute zone in the game where your narration, your commentary will not be heard because the game sounds are too loud. Now, if you record them in separate audio files, which I have set up here, the first one's gonna be the speakers, basically what I hear in my headphones, and the second one's gonna be my microphone. Also, options here, you can tweak around with them. Basically, you would want them the same as you have them set in your control panel and in your editing software, so you'll have the same all around. Alright, and even a third one, a fourth one, a fifth one, maximum 8, as it says there. If you have multiple ones, you know, you can have it here, and you can have them and just take record sound if you're not using them anymore. There's also profiles in here. that you can activate and yeah, save to a profile and automatically switch. But once you do this once, you don't need to come back and tweak them 1,000 times. You just open Dxtory and not change anything. Just wait for the overlay endgame and start recording. So yeah, you're gonna have 2 audio tracks from this setup right here. So if the game sounds are too loud, heck, that's why you have the editing software. Just pump your audio higher or bring down the audio in the game, no problem. Screenshots, yeah, may be used by some people. I don't use it per se. Advanced, I wouldn't tweak with these. Processing threads too, I don't know if it comes default with this, but I would recommend putting it on 2. For any other problems, if you do have problems, you search for them on the internet, and I'm sure people will tell you if you want to change something in here. But it works just fine like this, so you don't need to change it. You have the global and the information, the task tray and stuff like that. Not very interesting things here. Okay, so you have recorded the game, right? And you have saved the game over here. Obviously it's not gonna have these files, it's gonna have this file. You open Sony Vegas, and this is just an auxiliary thing. I'm gonna show you. Some people don't need to do this. It all depends on their Premiere. And I'll just gonna show you this really quick. If you drag this over here, I already did in Premiere, and then you drag it on your timeline, you're only gonna get 1 audio track, and that's the track in the game. You're not gonna get your own voice, which is fine. Don't freak out. Like I said, some people may have CS 5.5 or CS 6, and it may work for them, it may not. I don't know what makes it work or not, but it doesn't matter. Vegas does recognize it, and you can just drop it over here, and it does have 2 audio files like you see here. And what you can do is mute the video file, mute the audio file that you already have, and keep this one, which you do not have, and then render it as a audio file. This is the one I use, a custom one, because I want it to be uncompressed obviously, and at 4410, the one that I use for recording and the one that I use in Premiere. So have it the same all across the board. Like I said, I already created one here, I will create another one. Just have it the same name and some X's at the end, I don't know. So it renders it, obviously. And next step after you render it is go into Cool Edit Pro, take it from the rendered spot, let's have it finish. You can close this after you're done. Alright. And now take it over here, let it load. And from here, obviously, you can do your audio editing if you said mark in the beginning and you want to cut that out, whatever. Basically, what I do here is go into Effects, select all by Control A, Amplitude, Dynamics Processing, and this is what I use. Voice Me. I'm gonna go over all of these in the top here, so you can pause the video and see what I went for. Basically, I'm making sure if I scream because I'm scared in a video game, you guys won't be deaf at home, and yeah, it's limiting the audio. You will see in a sec what it does. And also it creates a little noise gate over here, so if there's a little crackle in the background or something, it gets rid of it really smooth and seamless. Basically what I did is this one, the -24 very fast attack. I clicked on it and then adjusted the graphic, like from here I placed it over here, and that's about it. Also did something with the top value over there, tweaked it a little bit so it looks like this one. Voice Me, add the preset, save the preset and use it every time, and then click OK. This is what it does. Take a look at the audio track over here, and Shazam, no more screaming and no more, noise, obviously in mark or something at the beginning. over there that can be cut out here or in the video editing software. Then you just save it. Again, give it a name that you're going to use all across the board. So let's say X is what comes out of Vegas, and Y is what comes as a final audio file from Cool Edit. Then you close it, and then you have this file in Premiere, like I said, the video and the first audio, and then you can drag the second audio that you have created here, and it is of the same size, so it will overlap really nice. And as you see here, the audio in the game is a lot louder than my voice, so obviously you can go right click and work in audio gain and make the sounds in the game a little lower, or you can go over here in volume and work with keyframes if you want the beginning to be louder because it's a nice song, and then you're gonna start talking later and lower the volume gradually. You know, I'm not gonna do a tutorial on Premiere. There are lots of those outside. This is just a tutorial on how I link everything together and get a video done. What I will show you in Premiere is the sequence settings when I create a new sequence in Premiere. I only do it once because I have my assets and my videos that I use for the outro over here and the intro over there. The assets, I use the same sequence every time. So when I'm done with the video, I just delete what's outside of these folders. I delete these two things and leave the intro, the outro. Why, you know, add it? Why add it over and over again when you can just delete the middle and replace it with the new game you're covering? So yeah, sorry. Sequence settings. Where were we? DSLR 30 frames per second, 1080p. Obviously you can go 720. Audio the same. Video previews the same, 1080p. Maximum bit depth and maximum render quality because I can and I want to. Yeah. And the rendering settings I'm gonna show you in a sec. This is what I use. H264, so it's gonna be an MP4. No filters, multiplexing is standard. Audio, like I said, 44.1, 256, no FTP. Video, this is what I use. 1080p, 30 frames per second, square pixels, profile high, variable bitrate, and render maximum depth and maximum render quality. Again, something that YouTube does is everything that's above 10 megabytes per second, it lowers it down to 10 megabytes per second. So don't think that, you know, rendering at 40 megabytes per second does any difference in YouTube, honestly. And there will be no visual something that the human eye can differentiate. They will all look the same, even if it's at 40 or at 12. And the same with these codecs. I tried all of them over here. 420 looks the same to my eye as 422 or RGB. I see no difference, so there's no point in going higher. Yeah. This is what I use. Like I said, you can use single bitrate at 10. I use variable bitrate at 12. It can go lower at about 10 and can go higher at about 14. Yeah, that's what I do because I like the variable bitrate. You can go either way, your choice. And that's about it. Queue it or export it directly and put it on YouTube. Use Photoshop to get some nice thumbnails. And that's about it. That's what I do. And right now, like I said, I'm using a Camtasia for recording this tutorial, which I hope you liked. And please do check out the annotations at the end. That will take you to the videos that I was talking about. The first impressions playlist, the news related to gaming playlist, and the Let's Play playlist. Also, you can check out tsgaming.net because it will have information and it will stack videos on top of each other, similar to how the old YouTube design did it, if you're more a fan of that. So yeah, thank you for watching. This has been Toasted Synapse from tsgaming.net. I am signing out.